So let's go around the screen and I'm going to have you introduce yourselves. I'm going to ask you basically for 3/4 pieces of information. I'm going to ask you to repeat your first name, so I have the pronunciation correct. I'd like to know what city and state you live in. And finally, I'd like to know from which news organizations, which companies you get most of your news. So saying like the internet or TV, that's not helpful. Where on TV, where on the internet, where on radio, social media. I want to get a sense of where you get your news. So I'm going to start in my top left box with June. It might be different from your other respective top right boxes. So again, June, why don't you go first with, again, first name, city and state, and where you get your news.
Well, we all know how to pronounce June. It's the month. I live in Appleton, Wisconsin, and most of my news comes either from ABC or NBC. It all depends who has the clicker.
Okay. The national or local news, or both?
Both.
Great, welcome. John.
My name is John. I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and my primary source for news is reading online, typically thewallstreetjournal.com or CNN or NBCnews.com.
Great, welcome. Teresa.
Yeah, hi, I'm Teresa, and I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I get my news mostly from the local Fox station and NBC News with Lester Holt, some on MSN, but mostly it's the nightly news.
Great, welcome. Jason.
Hey, I'm Jason, in Peoria, Arizona, and I get most of my news from the New York Times and then Substack and X.com.
Great, welcome. Audra.
I'm Audra, not Andrea or Audrey, but Audra. And I am north of Jason up in Flagstaff, Arizona. And I'm sorry it's so hot for you, Jason. It was very delightful for me this morning. And I get my news in the mornings on the television from Fox News and CNN headline news. Online, I read New York Times, and I also subscribe to the local city paper, which is the Arizona Daily Sun, and I also subscribe to the state newspaper, which is the Arizona Republic.
Great, welcome. Crystal, do I have that right?
That's correct, Crystal. I'm in Swanee, Georgia, and I normally get my news from the local Fox, the local ABC, the national ABC, or CNN.
Great, welcome. And last but not least, Chris.
I'm Chris. I'm in Lansing, Michigan, and I get most of my news from CNN or the Wall Street Journal.
Great, welcome, Chris. Great to have all of you with us tonight. A few other quick media-related questions. By a show of fingers, who gets a lot of your news from social media? Got one, Jason. That's it. Okay. By a show of fingers, how many of you have cut the cord and no longer have traditional cable TV service? 5 of you. Okay. And by a show of fingers, how many of you watch sports via a streaming service at least a few times a week? 1 of you, Chris. Okay, great. So let's go around the screen and have you introduce yourselves. I'm going to ask you for 3/4 bits of information. I want you to please repeat your first name. Please tell me what city and state you live in. And then finally, I want to know from which news organizations you get most of your news. So where on TV, where on the internet, where on radio, wherever it is that you get news, I want to hear where you get news. But please don't say, oh, I get it on TV, and stop there. I need to know which companies are providing you with news. Okay? So I'm going to start in my top right corner, and it looks like Tiara is there. So Tiara, if you wouldn't mind going first, that would be great. And we had you muted just because we were hearing some background ambient noise.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep my kids upstairs and quiet. So
Don't worry about
it. My name is Tiara. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I watch CBS, I watch Fox, I watch the local Las Vegas channel, and then I get Newsbreak on my phone. So that's how I kind of keep up. Every once in a while, I'll see something on social media. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Melody.
Hi, I'm Melody. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I get my news from like BBC America and the local news channels.
Great, welcome. Barbara.
Yes. Hi, I'm Barb from Auburn Hills, Michigan. I get most of my news from public radio, but also our local news station in Detroit.
And what is that station?
Oh, it's WDIB NBC.
Got it. Thank you. Jennifer.
Hello, I'm Jennifer from Audubon, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia suburbs. I get my news primarily online. I'd say Drudge, Fox News, CNN, The Skim, some social media commentators as well.
Great, welcome. Ronnie.
My name is Ronnie. I get from Mount Holly, North Carolina, which is a suburb of Charlotte, North Carolina. I get my news every night from CBS and Fox, and I also get emails from New York Post constantly through the day.
Okay, welcome. Zach.
I'm Zach. I'm from Sauk City, Wisconsin. Most of my news I get through social media feeds, mainly being X and Facebook. Facebook mostly through friends posting. If I need to know more about it, I'll usually watch local news, typically our ABC or NBC station, or if it's national news, CNN.
Great, welcome. And last but not least, Dale.
Yes, my name is Dale, and I'm in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and I get my news from ABC, CNN, and public television.
Great, welcome. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for coming. So thanks for giving me all the introductory information. I have a few questions I want to ask about media, in addition to what I asked you. By a show of fingers, who gets a lot of your news from social media? 4 of you, okay? And by a show of fingers, how many of you have cut the cord and no longer have traditional cable TV service? 3 of you. And by a show of fingers, how many of you watch sports via a streaming service at least a few times per week? 4 of you do. Thank you.